All right, so you guys are working on altering forms and altering cylinders. So I'm going to show you a few techniques that you can do. And really this project is about taking risks, letting the clay guide you. I don't even really want you to necessarily have a plan. I want the clay to tell you what to do, okay? These are fresh. And I just want to show you some different techniques with them. The fresh ones are kind of fun because you can do things like start popping the sides out. You want to stretch the clay out, put something here to stretch it out and get a certain shape. You could literally drop it down and then figure out what you're going to do with that next, right? So the goal is to really completely change the form of these. Maybe you want to rip the clay. Depending on the dryness of the clay, different things are going to happen. This one is a little thick, which is fine. Maybe since it's so thick, I want to go in here and carve some of this out. And although this is really wet and we talk about no sharp edges and we want like great craftsmanship, once we get like the rough draft done and it gets leather hard, then we can go back in and clean this stuff up. But some of these, I even wish I had some water here that I could like get water on my fingers. That I could get water on my fingers and then really smooth those out. Look at that. So now I'm making all these little, and you know what? I had no plan. I had no plan when I started this. I've never done this technique before, but actually I'm loving this right now. And even though I've never done this before, like I'm thinking down the line, I could totally use this technique for like little succulent pots or something like that, right? So that's what I want you guys to play around with. And then I'm gonna figure out, yeah, go ahead, ask me a question.
So like when we're altering the cylinder, like how altered does it have to be?
I want evidence that you took risks. If you just like take the hole tool and just put some holes in it, that's not taking risks. We've done that before. I want to see that you have changed the form. I want to see that it's not round anymore. Here's something. Typically, we have made pots. They're round. We trim them, clean them up, and then we fire them and glaze them. And this is the end product. I want you to have this be the start. So this is just like the blank canvas, and then you're going to totally transform this. So this is the beginning, and then this will be the end. But you're gonna learn so much from doing this, and just watch and see. You're gonna learn some stuff that then you're gonna be like, oh, that's really cool. I'm gonna do that. You don't even know it. You might be in college and you'll be like, oh, I did that project and this would be perfect for that. You know, play around with your tools. You know, what do different tools do? You know, maybe I always make you guys smooth everything out. Maybe we want some things to be a little crunchy. And I honestly think these three pieces still look too much like cylinders. Let's just cut this bottom off and see what happens. Okay, go ahead.
So like if we use 3 cylinders, but it doesn't come out with like 3 different things, does that count?
Good question.
Like if we connect them?
For the intermediates project, I'm gonna say no. Because your goal, your end goal is to have 3 different pieces that work together, that are a set. Mm-hmm. You're gonna glaze them in one color. We're not using underglaze, they're gonna be monochromatic, one color. And with that said, that brings up this good point, is think about heights. You know, in decorating, how they like don't want you to have like all the same height. So think about maybe a shorter one, a middle-sized one, and a taller one. So when they're working together, it's a good set. Or think about making them all 3 the same height, so you put them all 3 next to each other.
So they have to not look the same, they have to go together.
Yes, they have to be cohesive, they have to be a set, but you don't want them to look exactly the same.
And we can't put them together. We can't put like 2 pieces.
Well, if you
If you have more than
3 different
one,
pieces.
if you have more than 3 cylinders, like some people might have 5 cylinders, they can use the pieces of the 5 cylinders. Like I cut this off, but now I could use it, you know, as a building block on this piece. I'm also testing to make sure at this level you know how to slip and score properly, because if you are building these and you're not slipping and scoring properly, they're gonna fall apart. Mostly experiment, take risks, and have fun. Thanks, Patterns.